Many WNBA fans are calling out the referee problem.
The referees literally turned their back. Caitlin Clark appears to be hunted every game. She deals with physicality that no other player in the league is dealing with. The WNBA not stepping in to protect their cash cow, their only draw, their only star. And this is the end result.
They said she would transform the league, the next big star, the face of the future. But nobody told us that the league itself could become her toughest challenge. After just a few games, Caitlin Clark went from the WNBA's celebrated
Caitlin Clark will be sidelined for at least 2 weeks with a quad injury.
Has emerged how Caitlin Clark got hurt.
Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the interest in the Fever and the interest in the WNBA.
Rookie Caitlin Clark was subject to several intense.
And it wasn't just the rival teams turning against her. This was far from typical rookie struggles. What happened next felt intentional and far more serious.
After every single game, WNBA players, fans, coaches are all complaining about the referees, and they have shown that they're not going to change anything because the referees continue to be horrible.
Game after game, Caitlin endured hard hits, was shoved to the ground, and had to fight through countless missed calls. The referees, who were meant to keep the game fair, stood by like bystanders in a poorly scripted drama. What began as occasional mistakes soon turned into a widespread pattern of ignored fouls, letting blatant hits go unpunished while Clark kept falling.
Head coach Stephanie White. She was complaining about her team not getting a whistle, not being respected.
Then came the moment nobody wanted. Caitlin sidelined with a quad injury. Suddenly, fans began replaying every missed foul, every unchecked body check, every desperate look she gave the officials, pleading for a whistle that never blew.
2 weeks minimum following a quad strain.
Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham going to the officials and trying to, ask for an explanation of what had just occurred. That official completely stonewalled them.
It no longer seemed like mere bad luck. It felt deliberate. And just as the conversation hit a boiling point, shocking new reports began to expose just how deeply flawed the officiating system truly is.
And as more and more eyeballs are watching this league, it becomes growingly an issue. The officiating feels you never have a true grasp on what it's going to be.
Here's what's really going on. A surprising number of the league's referees come straight from, you guessed it, high school leagues. But it gets worse. They're not even making calls based on their own judgment. Instead, the league depends on a secretive group of GMs, coaches, and stakeholders who dictate just how physical they want the games to be played.
To that. They're not listening to the coaches, they're not listening to the players, they're not listening to the fans, they're listening to their stakeholders. That's why I keep saying nothing is going to change till the mindset and whoever's running all of this, the stakeholders, governors, whoever these people are.
And Caitlin Clark? She's caught right in the middle of this storm, where influence, ego, and money all clash. Now, after weeks of mounting outrage, viral clips spreading everywhere, and even coaches and players speaking up, the WNBA is finally starting to feel the pressure.
Does anything. It should be a wake-up call to the WNBA, the Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight.
With whispers of lawsuits and rumors of referee bias swirling, the league's golden star could quickly turn into its biggest liability, unless they act fast. And here's the million-dollar question. How far will they go to silence the very player they've been profiting from since day one?
Roughed up, but the physical wear and tear on Caitlin Clark, I'm not surprised that 2 weeks into the season, she's already got an injury.
Caitlin Clark has never been one to back down back at Iowa. She rewrote the record books, brought in millions of fans, and turned women's hoops into primetime television. So when she stepped into the WNBA, everyone expected fireworks, not just from her game, but from the excitement she'd generate for a league that needed a miracle.
2024 was a year of unprecedented growth in viewership in the WNBA, a substantial amount of which could be attributed to Caitlin Clark, who took the basketball world by storm after an all-time college career.
Who had appeared in 185 consecutive games between her career at Iowa and her time with the Indiana Fever. 139 games with the Iowa Hawkeyes. She never missed one.
And for a minute, it was working. Attendance exploded. TV ratings broke records. But instead of the league rolling out the red carpet, Clark was met with elbows, attitude, and hostility from the jump.
Caitlin Clark, somebody who was responsible for 26.5 of all WNBA economic activity last season, including revenue from merchandise, ticket sales, and television. Caitlin Clark out at least 2 weeks, waited. But can the WNBA maintain without her? Can the WNBA pack arenas draw ratings?
From the moment she hit the floor as a pro, it wasn't just about basketball, it was personal. Every matchup felt like a gauntlet. Defenders weren't just guarding her, they were bodying her like it was UFC fight night. She got full court pressure off ball, hacks and floor contact that belonged in a rugby match, not a basketball game. And where were the refs? Nowhere to be found. Contact that would have earned a whistle for any other top-tier player got nothing for Clark time. And again, she had to just grit her teeth and push through.
And so bad, bro. I mean, they just didn't care no more. They didn't care. The world was watching how bad the cause was. They didn't care at all. They was going to get their issue off against the Fever no matter what. And I'm here to tell you, that's exactly what went down, bro. They have an agenda against Caitlin Clark.
All while the league peddled the same tired line. She just needs to adjust. But why is it always on her to change? Why is Caitlin Clark the only star told to toughen up while everyone else gets protected like crown jewels? Then came the injury. After logging monster minutes game after game, often upwards of 35 minutes a night, Caitlin was ruled out with a left quad strain, sidelined for at least 2 weeks.
The reason that people are complaining is because they haven't watched the WNBA before, and these are just new fans who don't understand. But there's clearly an issue.
It wasn't just a setback. It was a gut punch to the Indiana Fever and a massive loss for the entire WNBA. And for a whole lot of fans, it didn't feel like a freak accident. It felt like the price of neglect, like the end result of a season's worth, of unchecked aggression, and a league that didn't take care of the only player who was keeping the lights on.
Clark has suffered a left quadricep strain and will be out for a minimum of 2 weeks.
This wasn't some unavoidable twist of fate. It was a disaster that could have been dodged. What made it sting even more? The deafening silence. The league didn't utter a word about the beatings Caitlin Clark had been enduring. No statements, no apologies. Just another name added to the injury list. But this wasn't just any name. This was the face of the WNBA's new era. Benched not because she couldn't handle the heat, but because the very system meant to shield her chose to look the other way.